Welcome to WagerTalk Today, the gold standard of sports betting shows where we talk the talk and we indeed walk the walk. It's Monday, big lineup. Gianni The Greek kicks things off with the Steam report. Krackomberger is going to drop by. We're going to do Monday Night Football prop for Bills and the Falcons, along with some MLB insights with Steve Merril. He's going to break down Mariners, Blue Jays. We're also going to take a look at this NLCS Game 1, along with a Bears and Commanders Monday Night Football preview. We got double the baseball. We got double the football. Plenty of sharp info to start your week off right. And Dan, I just got to say, I use a football school, baby. I use a football school for the first time in my life. How about that? All right, let's bring in Gianni The Greek. And you guys, please hit the like button while we're getting started. Yanni, you were just celebrating earlier. What you got a nice future that's on the right track here?
I have 4% on Seattle to win the AL at plus 10 to 1. So there's 40 units pending. And then I have 4% on them at 25 to 1 to win the World Series. So arguably 140 units sitting there. And I said, we got to make money off this bet. So the decision was either you take Toronto to, hedge Toronto this series at minus 140. I said, you know what? Let's take it game by game and see what happens. So instead, yesterday, I just bet Toronto game 1 for 5 units. Seattle now won game 1. So now Seattle's minus 200 in the adjusted series price. And I think that's too high, to be honest with you. Historically, I think it should be about minus 160 right now. It's a little bit too high at minus 200. I'm almost tempted to hedge a little with Toronto because when the road team wins game 1, historically, they win the series about 6 out of 10 times. So it's about a 60%. And it's priced now, at 67% break even. Each series, each matchup is different. But I just think it's too high. Like Toronto's got the pitching, they got the bats to where they shouldn't be this big of an underdog in this spot, I don't think, for the series. I'm hoping Seattle gets it done again tonight. I haven't really broke that game down yet. I've been looking mostly at football, but I need them to get it done, hopefully.
We got a couple of Monday Night Football games. Anything of note that you're seeing?
Yeah, I mean, to get the latest going on. Washington money, no surprise. Washington was tied in from yesterday to a handful of money line parlays, a handful of teasers where they tease them down to where they just have to win the game. And we're also seeing straight bets coming in on the Washington side. So the question is, when are they going to 6 with it? Because we're seeing 5.5s. It hasn't gotten there. I look into my sharper shops too, and it still hasn't gotten there. So it'll be interesting to see if they get the 6 with Washington. The overs being bet in both games by the recreational bettors. We haven't seen the wise guys get involved. That's why you haven't seen a big move on the line. Like the total opened that the look ahead got bet over at 48 right away, which is a Monday night game that happens almost always because the bias of the bettors is always towards the over on those primetime games. So that's not a big move. It's what happens after that. And we haven't seen much movement at all. It's like half-point increments to get the 49.5 or 50. And the same thing with the Chicago-Washington total. We're getting over money, but they've gone to 50, back to 49.5, 50, back to 49.5. That tells you it's not sharp money related. It's not a group that came in, took a position, hit them with a limit bet on the over, because you'd be seeing, 50.5 instantly, 51s by now. So in neither of the games would I consider the over move that we're seeing real sharp. As far as the sides, we have seen sharp money on Atlanta. The look ahead was 3.5. They put it out at 4. It went to 4.5. That's when you started seeing some of the Atlanta money. Now it's down to 3.5. I think that has a lot to do with number 1, home dog. Number 2, they haven't had a Monday night game in Atlanta in a really, really long time. So, I mean, this is it's hard to quantify that, but it should be a good home field advantage. And, of course, you have Buffalo coming off an ugly loss to New England. So a little recency bias there that because you would think it would be one-sided Buffalo money, and that's just not the case, at least not yet. Heavier, I think, the Washington side, and the line reflects that. Where with the Buffalo, Atlanta, you got the sharp money that came in on Atlanta, dropped the line, but I think you're going to get more than enough Buffalo money the other way from recreational bettors to get good balance there. So nothing really like jumping out as far as wise guys steaming anything, except again the Atlanta at 4.5, and then the public's just betting both games over, and obviously a little heavier on the favorite with the Commanders.
Sean was asking about any sharp action in hockey today, and Adam was wondering some thoughts on James Franklin's firing on the Penn State Iowa. Is this a situation where players look to flee? Maybe the line keeps moving up. The lines are kind of based on narratives, not necessarily like what actually happens. Sometimes players rally, sometimes they give up. Your guess is as good as mine on that one. If you're trying to guess what the narrative is, you're kind of playing with fire. It's kind of a coin flip there. I wouldn't guess what the players' narratives are on something like this.
You'd rather wait and see confirmation.
Yeah.
Like with the draft.
Quarterback, yeah.
We talked about it, Andy, with the draft. Why guess and lay minus 200 when tomorrow I could lay 400 and have confirmation? Yeah, I have to lay a bigger price, but now I'm pretty sure that this player's going to that team. I get it. It's sometimes you get a much better price getting out ahead of the market, but when there's times that you could get confirmation, I'd much rather wait. To answer his question on NHL real quickly, Colorado got steamed immediately at opener. Obviously, you could tell that from the betting line. Tampa Bay was another one that I saw in multiple accounts. Tampa Bay kept getting bet. Columbus over New Jersey as a home dog, I saw on accounts. Who else? Sorry. Just wanted Monday, account Monday. And where was the under in St. Louis, Vancouver, but at 6, and now it's 5.5. They steamed that under Vancouver, St. Louis. So that's some of the hockey that got hit immediately.
There's a lot of day games in hockey, guys. It's Canadian Thanksgiving, so these games are like literally starting in a half hour, an hour. So make sure, don't wait until this evening and be like, oh, I got to bet those hockey games, and the game's been over for a few hours. So be careful on those. So someone even in the chat, UC Panda, says he likes the Blue Jackets. So there's your confirmation, Gianni. Panda in the chat. there's your and Rob says the same thing about that. So let's see. Yeah, what's your thoughts when we have a coach fired from a Penn State? Not only that, their quarterback's out for the year. Is it just unknowns? You just wait and see. Why risk your money?
Listen, that's a team right now. Here's the problem with a situation like that. Right now, Penn State is getting such negative feedback from the betting market that you're almost forced to look to back that team, to be honest with you. It's kind of like the crypto market, the stock market. You got to run into a burning building if you want to make money. It's the scariest times, but when things are crashing is when you're going to get value. When you're seeing on CNBC, they're going to, it's going to zero. Bitcoin's going to zero. That it's imploding. Like when you start seeing that stuff, you have to have the courage to go in, and it's very hard to do. But this is when you're usually going to get a lot of value on a team like that. Again, you can wait for confirmation by seeing how they play on the field. But then, everyone else saw it too. How do you take advantage of it? So personally, I think, again, for myself, I look to go contrarian in most markets. So I'm not afraid to back a team like that, especially, again, if the narrative is so ugly, so bad, you're usually going to get some value. And then you just got to hope that the team actually shows up, which, like you said, is the part you're guessing. You don't know how's that locker room going to respond to the situation.
Also, the other team has absolutely no film to work. What do you prepare for?
Yeah, great point.
What possible film do you know what they're going to bring out on offense? It's going to take you a full half to try and figure out what they're running, if they're competent. Are we running a million times? Are we passing? Are we running And then by the time you adjust to halftime, the other team's adjusted. I see too many of these messy situations. Sometimes I love when backup quarterbacks come in just because there's a complete unknown.
The injured player theory, Marco's handicap. You know, it's funny. I just looked real quick at the rankings. I see Notre Dame is 13th in the AP, 15th in the coaches poll. Do you know there's maybe 2 teams in all of college football that would be favored over Notre Dame on a neutral field? Number 1 would be Ohio State. Number 2 would be Alabama. Everyone else, Oregon, Georgia, Indiana, name them. Notre Dame would be favored over them on a neutral field. At least that's what real power ratings reflect. Again, the sportsbook's job is to manage risk. And the narrative out there, a 4-2 Notre Dame team can't be as good as a 6-0 team. With that said, power ratings are everything. I talked about it every single week about the overvalued college football teams, and I'm still seeing it. Miami, number 2. You have no business being number 2. Miami's not even a top 10 power rated team. There, I said it. Miami's not even a top 10 power rated team. Miami's lucky to be in the top 20 power rating wise. And yet they're number 2 because they're sitting at 5-0. Like, I would make Indiana favored over Miami. I would make Texas favored over Miami. I would make Oregon, Alabama, Mississippi, Tennessee, Penn State, old Penn State, Michigan, all those teams I would make favored over Miami, and yet they're number 2. That's how you make money in college football. That's why I've been able to crush the college football market this year. Texas A&M. Texas A&M at number 4? Dude, Texas A&M is barely in my top 15. Barely in my top 15. I could rattle off 10 teams that would be favored over Texas A&M on a neutral field. That will all play itself out as this season progresses. That's the beauty of, having games ahead of us. It's not a long enough season. It's not baseball where you're guaranteed the cream will rise to the top and the numbers will play out like they should. But there's enough of a season that those phonies, the Miamis, the teams like that, they will get exposed, rest assured. And still, best team coming into the season was Ohio State. Best team still is Ohio State. And right behind them is Notre Dame and Alabama. But Ohio State's still at least a field goal better than the next best team in college football.
The Ohio State opponent team total under has been an absolute gem, and it's getting ready to flip the other way. The Illinois should have gone over that team total. There's going to be a team that starts going over against Ohio State. So if y'all have been riding those streaks like me, then
someone asked about Texas Tech. They're number 7, I think. Yeah, 7. They just made my top 20. This week I just put them into my top 20. So they're not a top 10 team, but they are in the top 20. I give them that with Texas Tech. We still have a lot to see. But again, strength of schedule is everything. Texas showed that against Oklahoma. I got so much pushback on Oklahoma about how they're number 2 defense, number 1 this, number 1. Its strength of schedule is everything. And luckily we saw that play out.
Do you have your running shoes on so you can do your victory lap on Texas?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Dude, you have no idea. That game was more important to me than anything else. I had a 5% yesterday on the New York Jets, and I cared more about that day before me and Gianni were texting each other. I was like, hook 'em horns, bro. Hook 'em horns. This is so big right now. He's like, dude, 50,000. He's like, 30,000 views, all these comments. You better hope they win. He was messing with me, And, thank God that came through.
Listen, sometimes it's great to be on an island. Sometimes it's
yeah.
Not. Sometimes,
dude, I was on the Baltimore Island yesterday. I'm still there waiting for a ship to come by and pick me up. I'm carving in the sand, SOS, as we speak.
I was all over the Rams. Actually,
I went from hero to zero in less than 24 hours, bro. So you're only as good as your last bet.
Absolutely. You know what? I want to finish up our segment by talking about that because last week we talked about these injured quarterbacks, and I was like, I don't know if these books are adjusting enough because I think the Cooper Rush, thing is terrible. But I also said the Jacoby Brissett thing wasn't going to work, and sure enough, they cover. They didn't win, but they covered. But Brissett threw for 300 yards, looked pretty good.
Yep.
And Cooper Rush was downright atrocious. He was awful. He got benched, and then Huntley came in and was equally as bad. I don't know. Did we get anything solidified about these backup quarterbacks?
That's what I fell for, Andy. I fell for that, where that I thought Cooper Rush would, like, he could only go up from here. You know what I mean? He had a 58 QBR. He threw 3 interceptions. Like, you shouldn't come in and with a worse performance than that. And that was my reasoning, coupled with any pride at all, a good home field advantage, getting 8 points. Like, what would they be in LA? 14? You know what I mean? And I was proven wrong because of that. Like, I think the sample size matters. And I think that's where my mistake was, that I looked at seasons of Cooper Rush having a much higher QBR, but that sample size, when I looked through it again, was small. Like, he had 20 passes one season, you know what I mean? 14 passes another season. And I think that, you got to always go back and see, where were you off? What was your mistake? You know what I mean? Other than just, did you get any closing line value? And I think that was my read, that I was expecting, like, this kid to progress towards a mean, but his mean may actually be that bad, and he was actually outperforming it prior. I think that's the key. But that's why after passing success rate, the next highest stat that I know as far as correlation, the highest correlation is value over replacement player. Like, so if you're good at quantifying what that replacement player is worth, you could do a lot of damage in the market. And that's very difficult to do. I think you got to do it on a case-by-case basis, obviously. And yeah, with the backup quarterbacks, the downgrade is usually an overreaction. But we saw yesterday in Cooper Rush that wasn't the case. Like, that was understated, not overstated, and just how bad it could be.
It was also a play against the banged up Ravens defense, and also they have the bye week, and it ended up playing out just like I thought. Harbaugh came out after the game, was like, Lamar's playing after the bye.
And that was a great point, and that worried me. I'd already placed my bet, but that worried me because it made sense. Like, why are they going to give effort before the bye week? They've already quit. They're looking at a week off. They're just going to go through the motions, and that's what happened. I should have bet them first half, to be honest with you. That was another mistake I made. Well, if you're betting bad teams, remember this in the NFL. If you're afraid to bet a bad team, but you like them, bet them in the first half. The cream will rise to the top, but sometimes it takes a little while to systematically break them down. And a lot of times you'll see them be competitive in the first half. They have something to play for. There's a little fire under them, but then the better team dominates. And we kind of saw that. And that was a mistake that I have to put it and post it and start to remind myself. NFL, bad teams, look at first halves, because a lot of times you'll get that cover where you won't for the full game.
This tells it all, Gianni, and this might be a bet. Baltimore Ravens, they have one win, and I talked about how easy their schedule gets. FanDuel has their over win total at 8.5. The books are saying, are they going to win 8 games coming out of the bye? That's exactly what I thought was going to happen. They're going to come out and they're going to rip off 7-8 wins. They're going to be in contention in this division. This division is totally gettable. So the books are telling you what to expect from them. So I'm going to look really, really hard about that one, because this is going to be a healthy Ravens team coming out of the bye. So really interesting. Really interesting. All right, Gianni, it's a big Monday. What do you have up for clients?
It's not up yet. It's going up in the next 30 minutes. I'm doing it because it's warranted. I have a really, really, really strong lean on Monday Night Football, and I just got a confirmation on it. I'm going to make it a 5% move. I'm firing tonight, coming off a sweep of Sunday Night Football with Kansas City and under. Those primetime games been crushing them. It warrants it. Big bet coming. Go to WagerTalk.com. That package will be up within the next 30 minutes with a 5% on Monday Night Football. Look out for baseball as well. And, of course, next weekend's packages will be up as soon as I start firing and confirm some moves. First losing week in college football. We had won week 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We lost in week 7. Gave back a couple units. Didn't get crushed. Still up 98 units for the year. So look for a big bounce back week in college football as well. Best of luck. I'll be in Vancouver for UFC Vancouver. We'll talk about that
Nice.
Later on in the week as well. So yeah, best of luck to all. Do some damage, boys.
Yanni, you have one job to do though. You have one more week of Contender Series to get me some swag.
Bro, I have a bag for you. I didn't.
Yes.
I swear, I have a bag for you. I have a bag for you.
I love it.
Just a couple shirts.
Love it.
Just a couple shirts.
It's all I need, brother.
And the water. I got you the Dana White water too.
It's great. This is great. Yeah, we got 6 fights tomorrow on Contender Series. Enjoy your last Contender Series of it. Have fun, man. And tell everyone I said hi. Love the crew. We love watching live every week. Gianni The Greek, everyone. Yeah, you too, brother. Last week of Contender Series is tomorrow. My $5 play is going to be on Contender Series. We're looking to wrap up a nice season. We've hit our last few Contender Series plays, so stay tuned for tomorrow. All right, let's bring in Bill, and we got to talk about the weekend. We got to talk about any MLB insight. Bills, Falcons. Bill, happy Monday. How are you?
Hey, what's going on? That's what I was just checking. I was just checking the Falcons line. Looks like the only place that has it right now is minus 110 anyway, is BetMGM. So I gave that out earlier in the week. And minus +4, minus 15, a couple sites, but BetMGM +4, minus 110. I'll notice some of the slow moving books. This is something for people that are in Las Vegas here. I'll even go nationwide too, but let me start with Vegas. Andy, amazing how these subjects are just so spontaneous. You said Falcons, it just spawned it. So it's good to have the slower moving books. Perfect example is this game. So I look at all the different sports books. I have my screen up, and it's 3.5 at almost every single book. A couple +4, minus 15, minus 20, but yet if you have MGM. If you have like the slower season, here's what you need. If you come to town, and if you're a serious bettor, and I say serious bettor, I just mean $100 bettor, Andy, because that's a serious bettor to me. You have to have BetMGM, you have to have Caesars, you have to have the Win. That's right, the Win, and stations. And I'm just saying, if you come to town with like $5,000, you're going to be betting. Put 1,000 in each app. You need those extra half a point. And here's a perfect example tonight. I know it's not such a key number. There really is. The key numbers in the NFL have really diminished compared to a decade ago, where the 3 and the 7 were so important. Now with analytics, the 2-point conversions they do, and the 10 extra yards on the extra point. But still, they do fall. Things still fall, 27, 23, and that's tonight. That should be the line, actually, 27, 23. The line, the total's 50, sides about 4. So you have to have lots of books in your arsenal if you're serious. And let me be blunt. People that watch this show, that watch WagerTalk, they are usually the more serious crowd to try to get more information. So, Andy, I was talking about nationwide. So nationwide, yes, I know I'm not allowed to play there because I use my brain, but DraftKings, you should have DraftKings. You should have FanDuel and the other there's a couple Fugazi books that are scared to death. The ESPN bet, Rivers, you need those books, even though I'm not allowed to play there. You guys that are betting, under $500, you should have those books in your arsenal if you're serious. Now, if you're doing this just to have fun and socially, and I understand you want to have one book, or maybe it's just your local guy, and no one's going to talk to you like this too. There's no one only me and maybe Gianni, who has the pulse of local guys. If you are playing with a local guy, there's some advice. You should be getting a rebate. That's right. You should be getting a rebate. It's real simple. There's sports books everywhere now. You should just tell them, hey, you're looking for 10 or 20%. Start at 20. This way you can get down to that 10. You're looking for 20% back in your losses, and you want a rebate every week. So you always want to have an edge in this, and having that edge, playing a lot of volume and looking like you're more of a sucker. Playing your stuff on Sundays, which is NFL Sundays. You want to make sure, though, you negotiate the best deal for yourself. And the best deal, locals, I just told you. There's even, if you're a more serious bettor, and I mean serious, like $500, then you'll want to get a host at DraftKings, FanDuel, even the ESPN, even these sites. They all have casino hosts that left the casino industry and are now working for these big sites, and they'll incentivize you with different things. To be honest with you, they could save all the seats to the games. You could save the memorabilia, the hats, the shirts. Please take them. I want cash. Put cash in my account. Put free bets in my account. That's what you ask for, and that's a spontaneous tip that I wasn't even planning to talk about there, Andy. And see what you did? You mentioned the Rams, and that was the end of Rico.
So there's this rep here in Indiana, and they reach out to me, not very often, but every once in a while, and it is hilarious. So I hit DraftKings big. I told the story last week. I hit DraftKings big on Tuesday on Contender Series. And this weekend, they were like, hey, we put like 10 boosts in your account for NFL. And I was like, of course you want me betting NFL. No, I'm not taking your boosts.
Bet there, though. At least you're still allowed to bet there because, it's amazing sometimes how stupid these sports books are. They literally, I know someone that got thrown out for betting tennis. So he bet tennis. He won $35,000. He loses six figures a year in the NFL 3 seasons in a row, and they cut him down to $500, $350. Like, this guy bets $10,000 a game. He lost $180,000 one year, 100 back-to-back seasons, but they cut him because he got lucky in tennis. It's short, small ball thinking. And I think if like the CEOs or the company presidents, or in this case, the board of directors, this is a public company, if they ever knew what went on with some of these traders that are jealous and upset that someone won on their shift, they would just go absolutely haywire and bonkers. So,
yeah, the Bet Rivers and the ESPN bets and the Fanatics, like those are long gone for me. Those are $0 balances.
No, they go in and they do a fingerprint and eye scan, and once you get that, you're done. Yeah, they're afraid. Oh, he has a pulse. He bleeds red. Get him out of here. Yeah.
Let's turn our attention to a prop for Monday Night Football here. Let's take a look at the Bills and Falcons. What's a prop you like in this one?
Well, I'm gonna throw you guys a prop. We gave one out at WagerTalk, but I'll give it to anyone here that watches also for free. Let's go to the Deebo Samuel on the other game. Let's go to Deebo under 58.5 receiving yards, and let me just tell you, widely available still. So Deebo under 58.5. I think he gets less work tonight. And I'm just checking the MGM line. MGM's one of my books here. I mean, they have so many good things that. But we only have like 2 sports books that offer so many different ways to bet and so many different props. I have MGM and Caesars. Of course, I'm not allowed to play at Caesars. They threw me out for using my brain. But Deebo Samuel. Yeah, it's still 58.5. So you got a couple. You got a couple things there to couple different. Now, again, isn't it good to get an extra half a yard or whatever it may be? Like you really want to make sure that you have more outs because I'm only giving you one line, but I know that that's still available. So, Deebo, he had some injury there that he still might be reeling from a little bit, but I think they're going to go to him less. So there's a free prop for you guys. What else? Now Atlanta. I sent that out earlier in the week, in the week when it was +4. I really don't do a lot of NFL sides. I do them for you guys. I give you one of my top guys that is a winning NFL side guy. I only give out 2 this week. The one was Tampa, and one here is to try to go 2-0 with them this week. May have a couple more for next week. We like a couple lines for next week. So. So that's really it. We have coming off a bye week this game. This should be an interesting. When you look at the public, thinking about the public, they're only going to know what these teams have done in the past. So when you hear, I'll give you the list: Bills, Kansas City, Super Bowl winners. You want to always go with the Super Bowl contenders, Philadelphia Eagles. Those teams, by betting on those teams on a primetime game compared to a regular game that's a Sunday afternoon, you're going to pay a tax in a lot of markets in the way of an extra half a point or juice because they already know which way you're betting on games. So we may get this 4 tonight on Atlanta again. And again, just to give you an example, you should bet 3 times more on the prop than you should on the side. So I'll just tell you right now, you should bet 3 times more money. It's all about bankroll management and percentage of bankroll. So you should bet more money on your props in general. Props are much easier to beat, as you could tell this season when I'm doing and what I've done my whole entire life compared to NFL sides. I do think we'll have a winning NFL side season, but when you're dealing with a handicapper that's a 56% lifetime winner betting NFL or anything, and he's going right now at 51.5%, now's probably the time to jump on that, because if he's going to return to the mean, he's probably going to have a year where he's going to finish out 57% and bring that number back up. So, the great Alan Boston taught me that. He said, when someone's a lifetime handicapper like he is, 58% in college basketball, and he's hitting 52%, well, now's the time to jump on him probably, one of the genius minds of all time, friend of mine, Alan, I put him on my podcast once a year for March Madness, and he's highly intellectual, Penn grad, super genius, sometimes can't come off socially very well, but he trusts me. It's because he's eccentric, because he is that genius of a guy. And, for people that, I can go off on tangents here, people that sometimes say something about Alan, this and that. One of the most generous guys I know, loaned himself broke. That's right. He loaned himself broke. Gives money to charities, dog charities, helps everybody, and loaned himself broke multiple times. And anyone that knows Alan will know what I'm talking about there. Andy, I don't know if you're going to go off into baseball a little bit, but I'm sure you were going.
Sure.
To. I'm going to ask the question.
Yeah, give me a little baseball
question for you. Hey, Crack, what do you do about baseball? Oh, Andy. Okay, here. Let me just tell you, I love playoff baseball. I love watching playoff baseball. I watched back-to-back games last week, and I usually never do something like that. It was just so cool. I was over at the Westgate. I was doing a show over there on my podcast, and it just so happens that one of my co-hosts from my Fox show on the weekends, he was over there. So I said, come on, I'll watch a game. I wanted to watch 2 games from the back-to-back. Nothing better than playoff baseball when it means everything. The heart and soul of the teams are left out there on the field at the end. It's just so good. Seattle, that 15-inning game, I watched that. I think it was Friday night. That was just so good. We have the 4 best teams left too. I'll just tell you. And unlike what a lot of people think, I think it's kind of a crapshoot. I don't think the Dodgers are. The Dodgers, it's easy. Why even play? Come on. Well, first of all, I have a Seattle future, so I need Seattle to win. And that's why I'm saying that 15-inning game was unbelievable. But yeah, so I love it though. It's for everything. I absolutely love the baseball, and I think it's a great time of the year right now. The weather's changing now here in Vegas. The last 2 days, I told my wife yesterday, I said, wow, what a difference. You used to go out in the morning and it was 85 degrees. Went out yesterday, it was 70, 65. This morning, forget it, 60 degrees. But you could feel it in the air though. It's baseball playoff, NFL season, just a great time. And even a good time to come out to Vegas, All my guys, they're wearing they'll bring out their hoodies with a pair of shorts, a little bit wackadoos, That's what my East Coast guys, though, because they used to be freezing, they don't care. Get down to 50 degrees at night. But yeah, so good time of the year to be in Vegas. Good time of the year to be a football fan.
Who do you like in baseball? Who do you like? You got a team you're betting on?
I'm not betting. I got to go with Seattle. I have multiple futures on Seattle. I'm one of those rare guys that's in the media space, and a lot of these people that are in media and stuff, they just all talk a good game, and none of them even bet. So here you go. Here's one bet. There's one bet for you, Andy. I don't know if you can see that. I need the Mariners desperately. So
nice.
Just a nice bet I made. I found that. How can I find that bet? Now I couldn't even get to give that to the public. It was 20-1 everywhere, and for some reason, Circa had 30-1. So on Seattle to win, but I did put out a Seattle future though earlier in the season, so I need them. and hopefully we get there with that. But yeah, no, it's been a good season. It's a grind. I'm up 20 some units in this year, and over on WagerTalk in sports on football so far this season. So yeah, 22 units. They had it down. I knew what it was, but I see that on the homepage there. The football's been good. College has been good. It's been a little bit of a grind these last 2 weeks, but it's good. Now we got basketball is getting ready to start up. College basketball. Oh boy, I just love that. It's a great sport to bet for me, especially a little bit earlier when the season's a little softer. Lots of different. Make sure you have, lots of different books because now these bookmakers have a little bit harder time too. You got to understand. I've been saying this for years too. I'll be talking about this in a couple of weeks, so I shouldn't even go into it now. It's harder to run a sports book though when you have 300 lines to put up compared to 80 lines, 60 lines.
Yeah,
it's harder.
Yeah.
Even though you have different people in departments. I'll explain that though on a future show here when college basketball starts.
All right, awesome stuff, Bill. What do you have up for clients?
Yeah, of course. Now tonight, same thing. We have top Monday night play, just $15. We have our season play. I always tell people they got to get in for the instead of a. I understand people like doing a 1 day pass. I get it. So if you like that, you like a 3 day pass. Anything can happen in 1 or 3 days. Long term though, 7 day pass, 30-day pass, 90-day. That's where I say get me. Lock me up until the end of at the end of Super Bowl. You want to get in on those props too. So you're going to be happy with that. So every week, great props. We send a lot of things out. Even towards the day of the game when things are available, we get obtainable lines. I'm not one of those people that are going to tell you, you could bet this at Rivers. You can bet this at DraftKings. No, I'm going to give you an obtainable line. I'm not going to pad my record by doing that. I don't do that. It's total BS. All right, I've said enough.
All right, Bill Crackman, every Monday, always bringing the heat. Thanks, Bill. Have a great week. Can't wait to do it again next week. All right, we're going to bring in Steve Merril here in a bit. But, Steve, I want you to watch this segment because we're doing NFL Overreactions, and I want to get your thoughts on some of these before we bring you on. All right, not a big week of overreactions, but we do have a couple dynamite ones. The Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo have the Giants completely turned around after one win. This is the ultimate overreaction. So Jackson Dart, Cam Scatterbo, the Giants are Super Bowl contenders now. I got to give a shout out to the chat. A couple of people said Jacoby Brissett was going to be better than Kyler Murray. 300 yards, he looked pretty good. It's kind of a little bit of an overreaction. And then we got Baker Mayfield for MVP. I don't know if that's an overreaction. That just might be a reacting to what we've seen here. So those are three overreactions. Or are we overreacting? I don't know. Maybe they're overreactions. Maybe they're not. So, all right, let's move on to where the books won and where the public won. Books did pretty well here. The Broncos minus the points. That was a big win for them. The Colts minus the points. The Cowboys minus the points. And the Packers minus the points. Big wins for the books. The public won on the Cleveland-Pittsburgh game under. The Baltimore-LA Rams under. And the Raiders minus the points. Those are big wins for the public. Let's move on to props and fantasy football winners and losers. All right. We got a lot of winners here this week. Dallas Goedert for Dan's Eagles is huge. Cam Scatterbo, of course. Trey McBride continues to produce. Tyler Warren is having just an incredible rookie season for a tight end. Normally, tight ends rookie seasons they can struggle, but we saw it last year with Brock Bauer, and Tyler Warren's having a good one. Kimani Vidal looks like he's got that job until Amari Hampton comes back for the Chargers backfield. Kayshon Boutte. He's hit or miss, but he was a big winner yesterday. Rico Dowdle, one of, 6 players in the last 40 years to have 200 yards plus in back-to-back weeks. Brian Thomas Jr., finally, we have a pulse on him. Derrick Henry didn't score, but got a bunch of yards there. Josh Jacobs, big winner. Kendrick Bourne. Cameron Johnson, he's going to get a lot of looks for Tampa Bay with the injuries in that the wide receiver. So look for Cameron Johnson here. Devon Achane and Jalen Waddle and DK Metcalf, really, really good winners. Losers, Saquon Barkley. Dan, we may have a Saquon Barkley problem for this year. He's not looking that good. The Broncos-Jets game, we all lost. There were no winners in that one. The Browns running backs were terrible yesterday, and Travis Etienne should have had a good day yesterday and did not. So those are your props and fantasy losers.
Andy,
Yes,
I just remember a props and parlays morning show when you and Andrew were saying, "Oh, Saquon will be fine." I said he has a really bad offensive line in front of him. He had a bunch of carries last year. He has a horrible offensive coordinator. He's a bad running back on a bad football team right now. That's the reality of it. I hate to say it, Andy, but it's the reality of it.
While you're
6 straight games, the Eagles have been outgained. That's a bad.
Saving it for the end of the season. While you're on here, Dan, congratulations to you and me. We advance in Survivor. Very, very well done.
Let's go.
Let's go. You went with the Packers. Took the easy one this week, and I was with the Rams all over the Ravens. So, all right, let's bring on Steve Merril. Steve, what was your favorite overreaction? Baker MVP, Jacoby Brissett's better than Kyler Murray, and Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterboo have completely changed the Giants. What was your favorite?
Well, I have to apologize, Andy, because I've already overreacted. I assumed Joe Flacco was hosting the show today. He's just been everywhere. So I apologize. I was not expecting to see you. I thought if it had something to do with orange and a little bit of black or brown, it'd be Joe Flacco since it's WagerTalk. But it's good to see you nonetheless. The Brissett one is interesting to me. I just pulled up the numbers because I was hoping to say maybe he's got a better quarterback rating career than Kyler Murray, or I could find a better yards per pass. Now, Murray's better on every metric that I just looked at during the careers. So that's obviously an overreaction, and Murray runs better. So that one's a no-brainer. Mayfield, by the way, third in MVP odds right now. Allen 2-1, Mahomes 3-1, Mayfield 4-1. So I don't think that's too much of an overreaction. 4-1 odds might be an overreaction, but he's definitely in the mix. And then I got to say, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid on the Jackson Dart Scatterboo thing.
Oh, no.
I had that game on the second half. I like Jackson Dart, man. He's a polite kid. He's nice. He didn't seem too cocky. Scatterboo ripped his shirt off with Fitzpatrick on the post-game show Thursday night. I had to watch it. It was the first time we'd missed my free Thursday night prime game all night. We're still 6-1 this year on the Thursday night free picks, and that's the first one I'd missed because I had the Eagles, so I was following it closely. And boy, did Philly catch a break yesterday. Lifelong Eagle friend, my buddy Scott Walton, was so happy the Panthers won that game. So that really made up for the Giant loss in a way with Dallas dropping that game yesterday.
I think Cam Scatterboo and Jackson Dart are both going to be hurt in a few weeks if they try and run.
I totally agree with you. No, there's no question but it is amazing. I mean, that team, if you take out the Cowboy terrible defense, they scored 6 and 9 points offensively, like in the other two games to start the season. That was interesting Thursday night. We'll see which way it goes. I mean, the Eagles might really be down. The Giants maybe have found a spark. I think it's probably, as always, a little bit in between.
And can you explain to me why Jackson Dart gets evaluated for a concussion? The coach breaks into the
that was crazy.
tent, but then he sends him out and calls running plays. He's calling running plays for his quarterback that just got evaluated for a concussion. And what are you doing?
I will tell you, that's one of the reasons I'm kind of buying in on this, because he was visibly mad that they would not let him back in sooner. The coach, I've never seen a coach. I'm glad you brought that up. I've never seen a coach so upset with like a neutral third-party doctor or protocol guy, whoever that is, that he couldn't get in a play or two sooner. So that tells you the coach is buying into it at least.
God.
Scatterboo went in the 10 also, but he's so small they didn't see him for a couple plays. But yeah, that was fun. I mean, I'm not a Giants fan,
anxious,
but that does get you kind of want to root for him.
Don't call running plays for your quarterback that just got evaluated for a concussion. My God.
Andy, I thought of you and Dan, though, because remember when we were doing the season wins, we all said we can't make a case for the Giants over, 5.5, I think?
5.5.
And you and I both said, like, this is the most one-sided, like, you can't make a case for it. But I said the one case you could probably make is like the Jaden Daniels scenarios if Jackson Dart comes in and sparks him. And at that point, he was looking really good in the preseason as well. So I do think there could be something there, but we'll have to see. We'll see if that O-line is improved because they've been so bad in years past.
Never forget they lost to the Saints, okay? Let's pump the brakes. So
let us not forget. I used it as a free. Right. I used the Saints as a free play, and I was mad I didn't make that a best bet a week ago. So that's how quickly things can change in the NFL.
Well, let's talk Bears and Commanders here, and then we're going to give out some of your thoughts on baseball. Let's start with Bears Commanders. How do you preview this game?
Yeah, first of all, I've got a doubleheader video on WagerTalk TV right now. So I've got a full deep dive breakdown for this game and also for that Bills-Falcons game. And by the way, there is a little bit of a sharp square divide in the game, and I will go deeper into that in the video. Also, my Fade the Public video has the Buffalo-Atlanta game. So Some other homework for you viewers after the live show here today. Dig into that video. I've got Buffalo, Atlanta, and then this game, Chicago, Washington at 8:15 Eastern on ABC. Not my Washington Commanders against not my Chicago Bears. I think back to the 80s when Darryl Green ran that punt return back in the playoff game at Soldier Field, holding his rib. He pulled the muscles. He hurdled somebody and scored. This isn't the same Bears team, obviously. Commanders are up and coming. I still don't think they're necessarily for real. A big win for them last week against the Chargers. But what jumps out to me in this game, I want to talk about the total here for a free play, is the over. And the Bears' run defense right now has been historically bad this season. They're giving up 6.1 yards per carry and 164 rushing yards per game. And now they're facing a Commanders team that averages almost 6 yards per carry and 156 yards per game. Commanders also have a solid passing attack. They've actually faced some very difficult pass defenses. In fact, their opponents played this year allow just 5.8 yards per pass. Bears give up 7.5, overall almost 7 yards per play. Now, they are starting to get a little healthier on defense, and I do think those numbers are going to come down. Just not sure they're going to come down enough tonight to get this to be a low-scoring game. And on the other side of the ball, I think the Bears can move it offensively as well. Like the scheduling setup here, first of all, for Chicago, coming in off the bye week. And they also had back-to-back wins before the bye against Dallas and the Raiders. They put up 56 combined points in those games, put up 45 combined in the first two games. They've actually been moving the ball better than people realize, and it's been through the air. Rushing attack has been very mediocre, but the Commanders' run defense is solid. The Commanders' pass defense is awful, giving up over 7.5 yards per pass this year against teams that average just 6.8. So let's not overthink this, pun intended. I was going to say no pun intended, but I meant a pun, because you've got a weak pass defense against a team that throws, weak run D against a team that runs. Over the 49.5 is the way to play Monday Night Football here at 8:15 Eastern. And don't forget, I've got free plays also, and analysis for that Buffalo-Atlanta game. Free play video right here on WagerTalk TV. Make sure you click subscribe. You click that bell as well for an instant alert.
All right, let's take a look at baseball. We got two games today. We got one starting at 5 o'clock Eastern. We got one starting at 8 o'clock Eastern. I'm trying to see if we've got expected pitchers, and we do. So we're going to talk Seattle. Logan Gilbert taking the mound against Toronto. Toronto's at least going to start with the reliever. We'll see where they go after that. We got Dodgers going with Blake Snell and the Brewers going with Quintana. I'm going to let you talk about both these games here at once. So break these two games for us. How do you see them going down tonight?
Little doubleheader action in Major League Baseball for Monday night here in the baseball playoffs. And it's almost like the NBA, right? The Mariners and Blue Jays will have played two games before the Dodgers or the Brewers play their first game tonight. And we see that so often in the NBA and NHL playoffs as well. It is game 2 of the American League Championship Series at 5:03 Eastern. It's a Canadian start time, 5:03 Eastern on Thanksgiving. And no way the Blue Jays can lose 2 in a row at home. And I don't think they will. I like Toronto in this game, and the money's coming a little bit on the Blue Jays, bumping this up to $1.30. $1.35. Also like the fact that the pitching matchup here, I think, favors Toronto. They've done well against Gilbert during their career. 29, this current Blue Jay lineup is 29 for 96, batting over 300 career against Gilbert. And while he's been in good current form, I think this is a step up in class against a Toronto offense that's due to break out a little bit here after scoring just 1 run yesterday on just 2 hits. I'll look for better offensive effort from the Blue Jays at home, and I don't see them going down 2-0 in this series. And something else I'll point out about this matchup is home road dichotomies. Both of these teams are much stronger at home this season. Blue Jays regular season 54-27, 40-41 on the road. Now, obviously, the Canadian travel factors into that a little more than it does in the postseason, but they still have a nice home field advantage. And the Mariners are even more extreme, 51-30 at home this year, 39-42 on the road. And I know Seattle won game 1 yesterday on Sunday, but I look for the Blue Jays to bounce back. Home road dichotomies are strong, and it's a bounce back situation after the loss. I like the Toronto Blue Jays as the small favorite against Gilbert, as the Blue Jays lineup, as I mentioned, has hit him well over the years. That's at 5:03 Eastern on Fox National TV and Fox Sports 1. And then at 8:08, the Hawaiian area code, 8:08, we've got the True TV and TBS game, and I'm still trying to get on Impractical Jokers on True TV. The comments below are helping, so keep them coming. On a more serious note, though, it looks like Milwaukee has decided on their starter. We'll see how deep he goes. We do know Blake Snell is going for the Dodgers, and I like Snell. Veteran pitcher here, having an excellent season, 2.35 ERA, and he's been in excellent current form since the end of August. Last 7 starts, a 2.34 ERA. And lifetime Dodger fan and insider Justin Brisky told me but the Dodgers are clicking on all cylinders. Lowest ERA in the league in September, and it does appear that they're rounding into form here. This is a team I think it was a 2-1 favorite preseason 7 months ago, and you can't lay 2-1 and tie your money up for 7-8 months, especially with baseball futures. But they were the powerhouse team coming in. So who would have thought both the Phillies and Brewers had better records this year in the regular season? Well, we see that doesn't necessarily mean anything because the Phillies are gone and now the Brewers remain. And the series price, by the way, is the Dodgers is a 2-1 favorite to win this series. So if they're going to win the series, they're most likely going to win game one. I like them at $1.50 favorite tonight with Snell on the mound. I like this Milwaukee team regular season, but I think the Dodgers are still the best team in baseball, and this should be a focus spot for them, and they're in pretty good current form as well. Let's look at the Dodgers minus $1.50, and once again, the Blue Jays minus $1.25. A couple of favorites tonight in Major League Baseball for games 2 and 1 in the National League and American League Championship Series. And don't forget, if you're liking these free play videos, comment below and thumbs up like. The more thumbs up likes, the more videos I do each week, including your weeknight college and pro football games. Going to do your Thursday night prime game this week, 6-1 this year on the free Thursday night plays. Sunday night, Monday night football as well. And then, of course, my top 25 college football video for Saturday and NFL Fade the Public video for Sunday. Click subscribe, click the bell for instant alerts, thumbs up, like, and comments below because I do read the comments and reply back. And if you want my personal best bets, check out some special offers that are about to expire right now. 7 days for $77. Buy 3 months, get the 4th month free, or get the rest of 2025, the next 2.5 months for free when you sign up in advance for 2026. That is a true, consistent investment approach. No promo codes needed. They're listed on my page now with a bonus free play. I've got an advanced free play for next Sunday NFL locked and loaded right now. Steve Merril, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker with shortcut wt.buzz/SM.
Thank you very much, Steve. Listen, I can't believe it, but my Colts have one loss. They're ahead of the division, and my Hoosiers are a top 3 team in the. What is going on in the state of Indiana with football?
Andy, I thought of you about an hour ago. I was reading an article on James Franklin, and by the way, when they lost again, I think I saw they're the first team in history to lose twice as a 3-touchdown favorite in the same season. I think that's what I read. So, first thing, Andy, we talk about Franklin like 1-19 now against top 5. I think Oregon was 6 at the time, but they were getting first place votes. When they lost that game again this past week in Northwestern, I right away was thinking, you got to get rid of Franklin. I never thought it was going to happen as fast as it did. But they had a top 5 coaching list. Nebraska coach, the UNLV coach, Iowa State coach. But the second guy listed was Cignetti to Indiana, which would really shake up that conference. And he would be my choice. I saw what he did locally here at James Madison. You've seen what he's done at Indiana. Think that's a possibility. You hate to see it because as a loyalty thing, you really feel like he should stay a little longer since they gave him his first big break. But he's done an incredible job at multiple schools.
Here's Adam is all over the Cignetti to Penn State. So here's why you wouldn't do this. 10 years ago, you'd take this IU job, you turn around, and then you go to whatever.
Right.
Okay. So Cignetti, money's not going to be a problem. IU has deep pockets. Kelly School of Business alum all over the place. We've now become, seriously, we are all more excited about IU football as alums than we are basketball. Our basketball program is falling apart. So you've got a school that is going to be forever grateful. You've got deep pockets. And with NIL, what's the guarantee you can get better players by going to somewhere at Penn State?
Same conference, right? And you're ranked higher now.
It's the same conference. Yeah. Now you also have how much more pressure you're going to be on at Penn State than you are at IU. At IU, you win 8 or 9 games each year. We're going to be happy. Look at Gonzaga. Mark Few's at Gonzaga. I think that's the guy that's done it right. So if you're Cignetti, I'm not sure who's higher in the rankings right now. Why is Penn State a better job than IU with NIL and everything that's going on right now? I don't know. I can make the case there are a lot better jobs in some of these high pressure. You're not dealing with Texas boosters. You're not dealing with Alabama alumni. You're dealing with IU that are just eternally grateful for turning your program around. I could argue IU, with what he's done, has now turned this into a top 3 program, and he doesn't have the pressure. I could argue IU's a better job than Penn State.
I love it. I mean, I'm a big quality of life balance person with sports betting, everything, coaching on the side. So I'm with you on that. I think it's vastly underrated. And the other thing I'll point out too, I wanted to ask you is, do you think Franklin's relieved? I think they still owe him $49 million. I mean, I said that with the Virginia Tech fired a couple of weeks ago. They owe him like $6-7 million. It's like, you got to do nothing now. You get paid. I don't know. It's interesting.
He's taking care of. I feel bad for the assistant coaches that aren't seeing that. They got to upend families and stuff. Hey, listen, it sounds like you're trying to convince yourself. Facts are facts. I just made the case of what kind of quality of life. Like, who's got it better than Mark Hughes? Who's got it better in college basketball than the Gonzaga head coach?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think so. I didn't know the money was comparable. That was the only thing I thought would switch them. But I think if they're at that level, like you just said, they've got better players maybe now. They're ranked higher. It's like, yeah, you sold me. I'll stay in Indiana, Andy. I'll stay.
Yeah.
They have no 4-star or 5-stars, so they don't have better players.
Right as I said that, Dan, I knew I misspoke. I realized that.
No, but you can get the players. The point is you can get the players. You can get the players.
I think they'll go to. We've seen basketball guys go to Indiana for decades. Even Bobby Knight was throwing chairs at him. So it's like, I know he threw it. I threw it at the referee once again. I caught myself. I know he didn't throw it at the player. But yeah, I don't think like Happy Valley in the middle of nowhere is necessarily a more desirable like college location than Bloomington. So
I agree. I think the one thing that probably Penn State fans will sell themselves on, and I'm not a Penn State fan, so but I think it's the guy is from Pittsburgh. So
I did not realize that. That's interesting.
There is like you get to coach the team that you grew up rooting for. I mean, there is that emotional edge. All I know is if it's Matt Rule, I am so out on Penn State. That's all. You're just getting James Franklin for less James Franklin.
He was the top of the article, Dan. That was the first name of the 5 they listed in that article was Rule.
He's the odds-on
Mullins
favorite.
Was 5th, which I think would be a mistake too. The UNLV.
Yeah, he's the odds-on favorite to start. The athletic director is really good friends with him, so
with
I think it would be an absolute mistake. It's a lateral move if you bring in Rule. Yeah.
It really depends on what kind of personality Signetti has. If he loves jumping from school to school and building up, if that's his jam, then yeah, he's going to jump from IU. But if he's like, hey, I found the perfect spot, the perfect job, then I'll stay.
For me, Andy, too, my first thought was it's kind of a loyalty thing. I know that has no way in it nowadays, but like they gave him his first big FBS job. Like, I don't know. For me, that would weigh in, but I know it's a different level for these guys. So we'll see what happens.
Throw out.
Place your bets. I'm sure Dave Mason can give you some odds on that this week from Bet Online.
I heard your buyout from WagerTalk's not quite as big as James Franklin. So.
I'll tell you right now, I could live with a $49 million buyout and not have to handicap anymore. But I would miss doing the shows, actually. I really enjoy doing the shows with you and the videos. But yeah,
I know.
There's worse situations than having a crap season, being told you're like 1-19 now in big games your lifetime, including losing to Notre Dame. Not Notre Dame. Yeah, they lost to Notre Dame, and Indiana did as well last year, right? Did they both lose? No,
Indiana got killed by Notre Dame.
They both lost to Notre Dame in the playoffs, right? Isn't that ironic? So that's an interesting coincidence.
All right, Steve Merril, everyone, thank you so much.
Thanks,
Have a
Andy.
great Monday. Thanks for joining us. All right, we're going to do all around the world real quick. We've got a Monday Night Football best bet. This is my favorite prop of the week. We put all of our props in before Thursday Night Football. This was my favorite. I've done something kind of special. I included 2 NHL props for tonight. I want you guys to get a look of what we do with NHL props. This is a daily sport where you could build your bankroll really, really confidently. We hit over 60% of our props last year in NHL. So I've attached those to the Monday night play. We just have one NFL prop, but I threw in 2 NHL plays. I want you to see our write-ups and kind of how we operate with NHL props. It's a great source to way to build the bankroll. So 2 props from NHL, 1 in Monday Night Football. So grab that. We're on a 12-6 NFL run. For whatever reason, primetime games have been great. 7-1 this season in primetime games. I don't know why we've been seeing primetime so well, but it's worked. So you can get there at wt.buzz/AL, and we got a couple free picks on that page as well. All right, let's do free picks from all around the world. Then we're done on this Monday. Let's go Bills, Falcons. Let's go Josh Palmer over 18.5 receiving. He's gone way over this total in 4 out of 5 games. In fact, the 4 games that he's gone over, he's had 25 plus receiving yards. Dalton Kincaid is banged up. I think this is going to be a pretty close game, and I think there's going to be a need for both teams to pass the ball through the air. So Josh Palmer over his receiving. We go to Dodgers and Brewers. These outs over props have been really good that I've been giving out on this show. So we'll go to Blake Snell over 17.5 outs. He's gone over in 5 straight games. He hasn't pitched in a week. He's well rested. We know this Dodgers bullpen is a liability. If he's pitching good and the game is close, they are going to leave him in. So let's take a look at Blake Snell over this total. And then Bills, Commanders, DeAndre Swift, or not Bills, Commanders. They're supposed to say Bears, Commanders. My bad. That was me on the graphics. Bears, Commanders. DeAndre Swift over 2.5 receptions. He's gone over every game this season. Commanders give up 4 receptions per game to running backs. So the Bears Commanders there, DeAndre Swift over 2.5 receptions. Thanks to Gianni, thanks to Bill, thanks to Steve. Great show, and thank you all in the chat. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you leave a comment below. Tell us what your best bet is today. We got hockey that's already started. We've got hockey all day. We've even got a CFL game that's getting ready to kick off, and we got 2 Monday Night Football games. Plenty of bets to take advantage of, so go check out WagerTalk.com. $5 Tuesday is tomorrow. We'll get you ready for a big Tuesday. Good luck on your bets today. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.